Hi guys, and welcome to another Watch Geek video. Today we're taking a closer look at the Venezianico Nereide Malachite. Malachite is the name of the stone used for the dial, and it's an actual piece of stone. It's not just a painted dial to mimic the stone. And this was proven to be quite challenging because the dial, the piece of stone, is just 0.4 millimeters thick, and it's incredibly hard to cut it that way without cracking. The dial itself is truly beautiful. It offers these striations of the stone as you can see them, and no two dials are alike. So this new model is very unique, and it comes only in 42 millimeters. Now, for most people, this is gonna be perfect. When I reviewed the Venezianico Nereide Tungsteno, I said that was the perfect Nereide for me. 39 millimeters and just 10.5 in thickness. It just ticked all the boxes, but for most people this 42 is gonna be better. And the best thing about it is that despite being 12.5 millimeters, which is not as thin as the 39 millimeter version, you actually get the same proportions, because that one is 39 and 10.5 and this is 42 and 12.5. So the wearing experience is pretty much the same. This is just bigger. But because it's bigger in all directions, the proportions stay the same, and that 39 millimeter version truly did have the perfect proportions. As for the rest of the watch, it comes with a tungsten bezel insert, which is one of the hardest metals known to man, so it should be pretty much scratch proof. The bezel action is among the best Nereides I've reviewed so far. It's very smooth, very clicky, everything aligns perfectly, and it just has the right amount of resistance. So as you can hear, the clicks are positive, and like I said, just the right amount of resistance. I'm keen to say that this is on the same level as my Submariner when it comes to the bezel action. It comes with a screw-in crown, 200 meters of water resistance, despite them using their own proprietary caseback with the screws that are holding it on instead of the screw-in caseback. It's a quirk of theirs, and I do like it because it looks more original, and based on the fact they still offer 200 meters of water resistance, it means that this is as secure as the screw-in method. One of the biggest changes compared to other Nereide models, including that 39 that I said is perfect, is the bracelet. And quite frankly, it's another detail I prefer on this model compared to that one. The regular Canova bracelet just has that fixed part on the center, and it extends the lug-to-lug of the watch quite a lot, while this one doesn't. This one goes down just as the lugs go down, so this can be worn on any small wrist. Now, I prefer the 39 still because I like smaller watches and my wrist is pretty small, but this can be worn even on the smallest of watches as long as you don't like watches to look small on your wrist the way I do. Another thing where this one wipes the floor with that 39 Tungsteno is the dial. Not because it has a malachite dial, which is gorgeous in its own right, because I also preferred that one, which had the mother of pearl dial, but the way they've done the hour markers. On the 39, they're just regular applied hour markers, and they're gorgeous, beautiful, and pretty much the watch looks as classical as any other diver. But on the 42, they still have the applied markers, but they're attached to the chapter ring that comes onto the dial. So the markers are actually attached to the chapter ring, and when it comes to the dial, they're actually hovering above, creating this beautiful shadow effect as you move the watch around. And it's one detail that really separates them, and that separates the 42 compared to the 39 and elevates it to another level. Now, do I wish if they made this malachite with that type of a chapter ring in 39? Yes, but if you really like the watch, don't be afraid to try it on or to purchase it despite having a smaller wrist, because even on my 6.5-inch wrist, nothing extends past, so everything follows my wrist pretty much perfectly. And the one thing that I also like about this bracelet is that it will hold up to scratches much better. The Canova has those massive center links that are completely polished, while this one is completely brushed and only these small pieces are polished, and because they're curved, they don't show the scratches as much. The only part that will be showing scratches more is the clasp, because as you can see, the clasp has a giant polished section in the center with this applied logo here, and this will pick up scratches. But still, even like this is an improvement over the Canova, because the Canova has a butterfly clasp, so if you can't find a perfect fit, you're pretty much stuck with the size that you got. But with this one, not only are the links small, but you also have micro adjustment. I just wish they included on the fly adjustment instead of this one, but I believe they will improve that in some future generations. But even this is an improvement over the butterfly clasp. Not aesthetically that one is better, but from a practical point of view, this is much better. Now the watch is powered by a Sellita SW200, and that is reflected on the price. But again, considering the quality of the whole piece, considering the finish quality inside on the dial and markers, which has improved over the previous generations of the Nereide I reviewed, and considering it's a Swiss-made movement instead of the more usual Seiko NH that they used in their previous models, the price increase is kind of justified. So this is priced at around $1,000, just above, and if you used the pre-order phase, you saved up to $350, because later it's gonna go to $1,300. Now overall, I do like the watch. Like I said, it's gorgeous, and I'm glad they really accepted the finish of the case that I suggested. Before, most Venezianico watches had polished tops and brushed sides, where I always prefer a watch that has a completely brushed finish with just polished chamfers, because that way it hides scratches better. And they first introduced it in one of their models, then second, and now most of their models come with this type of finish, which is gonna be much more easier, better to wear every day. It's not gonna show as many scratches as the polished ones did. So overall, a great watch, an improvement over the previous generation. And like I said, the 39 was the perfect Nereide for me, but this one has a better bracelet, has a better chaptering, and the way the hour markers are formed. So now I still have a desire for a Nereide that's in 39, done with this bracelet, with this type of hour marker application. So that's the thing with watches, you're never completely satisfied. I thought that Nereide is like the end of the line for me. There's nothing more I would wish from it, but looking at this one, I have to admit I'm starting to have desires. So anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you found the video useful. If you did, please like and subscribe, and until the next video, bye.